came, people interact. While people are consuming the food, they absorb the story. They go with the story, and your mind plays a vital role in that. Um, if you give me a besan ka laddu which is namkeen, I might not like it because my assumption is I'm having a laddu which is supposed to be sweet. But the same thing you give me in a powder form and tell me that it's a savory dish made with besan, same flavors I'll enjoy. So that's how the brain works. Uh, there is a new concept which is coming, which is neuro dining, where you see, you experience. If it's a sea food you're having, then a sea sound is around you. The entire vision, the view is about the sea. So those kind of things are coming in. One beautiful concept, which is one of my favorite, which I did regarding the experiential dining, was a festival based on Salma Hussein's book called Emperor's Table, where it was about the seven Mughal rulers who came to India and how with them the cuisine changed of India. When Babur came to India, he lost trust in India because Ibrahim Lodi's mother tried to poison him through the chefs only. So he bought his chefs, he bought his ingredients. Uh, his son lost to Sher Suri and Humayun was exiled, and he took shelter in the with the Shah of Persia. When he came back from Persia, he brought a lot of Persian influence into the cuisine. Uh, but for me, the actual cuisine changed when the Akbar came in. He went all around the country. He did treaties with them. He made 12 different nawabs. So the real cuisine changed there. Then Shah Jahan and was a very peaceful period. A lot of colorful came. By that time, the chili has come to India. So Aurangzeb's time, the chili took it. The biryanis came in. So all that concept I put together as a chain, as a like a necklace, a pearl. So it was well taken by people. And initially, when I was doing, I was scared that at that time, the initially it was not spicy. So, well, Indian people would like that kind of food, which is rich, which is not spicy, only flavored with black pepper or long pepper. But it was an experience for me also. And when I'll be very honest, as a chef, when we are doing something like this, it's like a toy, like a kid who get a new toy. That's happened to us. uh, the energy that comes from inside a chef is different, and you can see on my face I'm smiling thinking about that experience, because that was a wonderful experience. And these kind of things, chefs do it from their heart. So trust me, the experiential food, even for chefs, for their customers, is a wonderful experience. So I will give the rest to others, because if I continue, I will continue on and on this topic.
Thank you so much, Ashish. I think from your smiling and shining face today, it's really great, and I can see that the passion is oozing out. No, it's really. I'm started feeling hungry when you give the story of all that, the history and then the kind of concept. So thank you so much, Ashish. And then of course we will pitch in later. I would hand it over to Mr. Tyagi. Neeraj, we would like to know more about technology. You're high tech chef in Aero City. We would like to hear a lot around technology, what's going on in the world. You worked abroad, you worked in multiple cities, cosmopolitan countries and cities. You worked in Singapore for a long time. You worked in Jordan. With your great experience, would like to hear from you. So over to you, Chef Tyagi.
Sure, Vimanshu, thank you very much. And once again, Mr. Swasa, thank you very much for giving such a wonderful opportunity. So before I come onto the technology part, I would also pitch in, this experiential dining is very close to each and I think each and every one of us, is something which entices our diner to come back, and it add the fun element into the whole dining space. Coming back to experiential dining, we call it a memory maker. So what we do is in every menu we have the dishes which finish on the table. So we have recently introduced one dish which is there in our Panishan restaurant. It's like we call it a sona prawn. So there's a bamboo basket which is filled with hot stone. The server come with raw marinated prawns, put the raw marinated prawns on those heated stone, put a little bit of wine and cover the lid. So whole sizzling effect, it create memories, which is a part of our experiential dining. So we have this, we do fried rice on the table, So that's is all about experiential dining. But Chef Himanshu, you rightly mentioned this is very subjective, I went to Rajasthan, and I'm talking about a couple of years back, I stopped at one of the chai ki tapri. They call it tapri, the small shack or the small tea stall. And at that time, this we call tandoori chai was in fashion, and then I tried that. So that was the experience for me. So experiential dining is very subjective. It can be very luxury, it can be very basic. It's depend, how you perceive it. So I think this couple of years is very challenging for all of us. It's COVID has really shook us, all of us. Um, Wave, first wave, second wave, and third wave. Hopefully, I think we're going to not going to experience any more waves. I think this is going to be over. Um, Food and beverage industry has witnessed some significant shakeups because of this pandemic. We the business level were down. The restaurants were shut, which was such a sad part. And then so many people have lost their jobs because of this. This is the one part, but the other part is that I think this pandemic has given an opportunity to rethink, reinvent, and come up with something unusual, and where the technology come into the picture. This sector, especially after this pandemic, has moved increasingly from imitation to innovation, I must say. New technology is driving products, such as biohacked food. I've never thought of biohacked food, which may not sound very appetizing, but they are decomposed and then reconstituted based on artificial intelligence. So there's a lot of science involved in it, and that's the future because everyone want to live a very healthy lifestyle. Vegan. So now we are talking about oat milk, so there's a vegan curd which is there on the breakfast buffet these days. So which is something there are websites there are where you can go and you can really choose and design your vegan menus without compromising the taste, without compromising the health. So I think there are so many things happening all around, and this is very exciting, and that's the best part about our industry. The another trend which is on the brink but going to be mainstream is like chicken, duck, and meat made from the animal cell, bypassing the need of farming and slaughterhouse, and which significantly reducing carbon footprint. So there is some amazing work happening all around. It's very exciting. Now we talk about the immunity booster. Our menus are become shorter, seasonal. We are mainly relying on the local produce. We talk about sustainability. I think that's the positive side of this. If and I think this is what the pandemic has taught us. Now chefs have started thinking beyond butter chicken and Rogan Josh. They are going back to the dishes which are not documented. Like we have added one very beautiful dish called batua, which is come from Himalayas. It's a very so-called village food, perfect for winters. So I think there's a lot of work happening around, but I think wellness, healthy eating is going to be there, is going to be the big one. Coming back to technology again, this cashless, I think every restaurant is working on this cashless mode of payments. We have exploring something very unique, and we all are very excited about it. So, I think one of the biggest challenge is to take the guest name usage, and we've been learning and kind of having discussion on this with our team. That every morning you have to take the guest name, and this sound easy, but it's challenging. And we having the discussion yesterday, and then so what we did is we are trying to put the RFD card readers on the entrance of our restaurant, and if you're a guest, so you can just walk away with the guest room key, and your details flash on the computer, hostess computer or inside the station, and you get to know all the details about the guest. So I think that is something very beautiful, and then think there. So there's a lot of research going on. There's a lot of things coming up, and yeah.
Well, thank you so very much, Chef Neeraj. No, I think remembering guest name, I think Chef Basin is Einstein on that. He must be knowing each and every guest profile by his, heart right now who is staying in the hotel. Awesome, but it's a great insight about F&B. But I think that the way you touch the points about how new technology is driving the food, and then what's happening with veganism and around plant-based. And I think, yeah, this is the big point about sustainability. How lab meat, of course, India is far away from there. It will reach there sometime. Yeah, but it has the biggest contribution to reduce carbon footprint. Is That's one. And then second is to reduce global emission, global gas emission. You are not farming or raising the animals. Yeah, and that point, we like we discussed yesterday, we don't want to discuss any further COVID from now onwards, and we're going to talk about the future of food and beverage. And in your last point, your memory making, which you started with. So my last point, I just need the recipe of that, prawn which you're cooking. Yeah, would like
Yeah,
to. Yes.
other thing which I just wanted to add on is that, I just met one of the vendor. I think there's a bit of CSR angle to it. So what he's doing some amazing work, and this all happened after the COVID. So he had tie up with the local porters who are based around the Delhi NCR, and they are creating some amazing crockery. The range of crockery, and this all are made of locally made, very durable and very innovative, I must say. So yeah, so I think that's again a lot of people are exploring different ventures, and then things are going yeah, over there.
No, definitely, because this is a very important point to have local artisans. When we and Himanshu Lodha, you would definitely agree what I'm saying, and we did discuss on that we should explore the local curators, the local crockery, and we must see what's happening all around in the country. And there's a lot of passion around the people have. Well, so thank you so much, Chef Neeraj. Now I would hand it over to Chef Pande. He is on cloud nine. He is opening a fabulous restaurant at the Aero City. It's gonna be very soon in the in the top restaurants of the country by Chef David Meyer. Chef Sandeep, the most humble person I've ever met and worked with, and glad to have you here. Chef Pande, over to you.
Firstly, thank you so much for all of us being here. A big thank you to all of us, and especially to obviously F&B Dialogues and Hotelier India. I have known VB since many years. Before, thank you so much for getting us all together on this beautiful platform. My take on these few buzzwords or the topics that we are going to be talking about today. Technology. We all know because of the environment around us, we've had these very few seats available in the restaurants, and the business is picking up, but at the same time we have very few seats available. So the way we have RevPAR as a concept for rooms, which talks about how to maximize rooms, the ADRs, etc., we are slowly catching up with a concept called RevPash, which is Rev PASH. So that's actually revenue per available seat hour. So it actually, we have softwares which calculate what's the seats turnover, how many guests are going to be coming in, how many are booked in, what's the average time that a guest would spend with us. And then we calculate how to absolutely maximize the limited seating space that most of our restaurants have kind of come to have by now. The other trend, or so as to say, the experiential dining trend that we're looking at is sustainability. For example, we like to tell our guests that the lamb is free grazing, and it comes to you from a very strong hamlet called Nathuthala in Alwar district of Rajasthan, just to give you an example. And trust me, guests want to know where the lamb is coming from. Is the duck that is there has been organically raised? And we are fortunate enough to work with purveyors like Spotted Cow Fromagerie, with Gayatri Farms, who are at the forefront of everything and anything which is organic, sustainable, and they follow absolute healthy practices to
GMO
raise the
free.
animals. Absolutely. In terms of all the other practices like the technology, cold press has always been at the forefront. It's nothing new, but at the same time, with the health being the right focus now, it is taking a huge step forward. I'm not sure if there's any other restaurant which is shying away from marketing their juices at cold press. I mean, almost all the restaurants are using cold pressed juices, and that's what people are looking at. Uh, be it the tagging of food, where the food has come from, be it the single origin coffees. All these are trends that we are kind of have seen, and they're just kind of reappearing again with a force to reckon with. We also at the Marriott have a beautiful vertical called Marriott Bonvoy on Wheels. This is our way of reaching out to the guests who do not have the inclination still to dine in our restaurants. So we reach out to our guests, be it the sustainable packaging, be it pizza boxes which get heated up on their own at the top of a switch. All these technologies are with us, and we are using these to make sure that the food which is being ordered by the guests is reaching them the way it should be. uh, I'm also going to touch briefly upon these one dish wonder restaurants. Slowly and surely we having these restaurants which are concentrating on a particular dish rather than those typical menus which had Chinese, South Indian, Indian, Western, au gratins. So slowly and surely the restaurants are going to be taking this big leap forward where they are going to be concentrating on a very small ingredient based menu, and that's how the world is going to go ahead. uh, Simple stuff like club sandwich. We've always grown up, at least we chefs have grown up, having a club sandwich cut into triangles. But if you look abroad, if you look at some of the big hubs of cuisine, Hong Kong, Singapore, nobody does club sandwiches any longer, which is cut into a triangle. I mean, everybody is looking at a sourdough slice, which is beautifully presented instead of bacon, which is probably not as healthy as Parma ham, done beautifully way, packaged right, healthy at the same time, and we're calling it Club Sandwich 2.0. So a lot of us are moving in that particular direction as far as the experiential dining is concerned. Taking cues from what Ashish and Neeraj mentioned, guests like to see and hear stories. They want to know when was their steak marinated. So we regularly do, instead of just a roast duck, Beijing style or a Peking duck, we try and give it a 100-hour marination treatment, which brings out the flavor like nobody else does, especially as far as the duck is concerned. So this again is a huge step forward for us. Talking about poultry, again, one of my practices from the erstwhile organization has been we break the eggs which are cage free and look and compare the color of the yolk with a Roche scale. And we actually check if the yolk is actually a 12 or a 13 on a Roche scale. I can see Ashish smiling because we both know what we're talking about.
I'm sure you guys
Uh,
must have definitely done it sometime during your training. Yeah.
exactly.
At
So
the same time, we were doing that.
Awesome, awesome. Sandeep, now there is a now like we spoke about experiential dining. There's a lot going on in my spaces. There's a lot going on in event spaces where we are only talking about the eateries outside, the restaurants and the bars and the lounges. I think there's a lot going on in our event spaces, the caterings, the weddings. So we would like to hear from you what's going on in that spaces. And second thing is, you just did one of the stunning events at the JW Marriott Aerocity. That was Hotelier India Award. I think people were raving about that. Till now, I've heard voices about what you did in that hotel. So we would like to hear from you, and we are looking forward. So please, over to you, Sandeep. What did you do? What magic you created during that time?
sure. I mean, it's very simple, and I'm sure almost every other chef does that. We want to minimize wastage, and at the same time, the experience needs to be right. We want to look at experiential dining. So what we actually did was we had done away with almost all the chauffing dishes. So there is absolutely no chauffing dishes so as to speak of. Everything is a kitchen, and we went beyond live stations. So there were ingredients, there were semi prepared gravies, there were sauces, there were garnishes. So you would say, for example, come on to a station, and if you wanted to have, say for example, a chicken tikka makhani, the chicken tikka would come out of a tandoor in front of you, get tossed, garnished, and get presented in a way that would bring a smile to your face. So the whole point of having huge chauffing dishes with spoons clanging around every bit where has been done away with. We are only looking at live kitchens and live stations as a concept.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandeep. All right, no, it was really very informative. You picked up about the health sector, how hotels are promoting and using the cold press. One dish wonder, very important. I think Basin also did touch on that point. How one dish creates magic. We did speak yesterday about few brands in the country and even in abroad. I'll give you an example of International Cheesecake Factory is one of the most stunning in Dubai. Just an example, what they do. It's one dish and you play around that dish. Yes, the seating management, it's very important to take F&B to a next level, like what STR does. RefPash, very good. And let's see how we and where we reach in this space. We also don't know. We also learning, and then how we can do that table management part. Yeah, and minimize wastage. Yes, it's a big thing in Marriott. Sustainability and zero waste. There's a lot of work going on around that, and yeah. Oh, so anyways, thank you so much, Sandeep. That's been really informative, really engaging. And I would hand it over to the veteran of FNB from ITC, Tajinder Singh, Teji. Over to you, Teji.
Hi, thanks. Thanks so much. Um, yeah, I don't understand where to start because, in our minds, everything in F&B is about experience. So, picking and choosing some part of it and not taking another part of it would be incorrect. Well, to begin, I, do want to thank Gaur and Vinita for organizing this thing. It's a good dialogue to have for everybody, and Himanshu Loda for supporting dialogues like these, which help us all in many ways. Well, experientially, F&B, I we do feel that it's going a lot towards legacy and authenticity, and increasingly brands have to communicate how legacies have been built, and what is legacy food, and maintain what they have, whether it is 40-year-old brands like a Bukhara or a Dampuk or things like that, and I think they continue to surge, defying all logic, and it's something which is being seen everywhere. The old standalone shacks and corner restaurants or takeaways are becoming full-fledged brands, whether it is Caventers, whether it is uh, Kake Ka Hotel, or anything. So legacy and authenticity is, of course, to be celebrated, to be included in experience where we are, whether it is in part of using the utensils which belong to that era, or service designs that belong to that era, ingredients that belong to that era, and making sure that the customer is communicated that part of it, and we are able to build that as a unique selling proposition. Another part of experiential dining, which is strongly emerging, is of course sustainability. And coming from ITC, we being the largest LEED Platinum certified company in the world now, and the largest company in the world which is carbon positive, water positive, and solid waste recycling company. We do believe that choice is increasingly being made on how sustainable brands are. How we are including all the wonderful things the chefs had said, whether we're using plant-based proteins, whether you are farm to plate, whether you are using local ingredients and celebrating local experiences to everything. So that sustainability is becoming a big deal, and the term that we frequently use in ITC is responsible luxury. You've got to take responsibility for your actions towards the environment and make sure that you're carbon positive, not just you're neutral anymore. Research in F&B is becoming very professional. We for example, we have a full-fledged lab in Bangalore which researches a lot of aspects, whether it is so just to give you an example, we launched a sleep menu which helps people sleep better, because we as hoteliers, we're also in the business of sleep. We're not just standalone restaurateurs in a hotel. So sleep is a product we sell, and hence, to educate a customer on, scientifically, test it out and see what promotes sleep and what doesn't promote sleep. Wellness, for example, cuisine which promotes wellness, whether it is immunity, whether it is general feeling of good health, or whether and you were asking about mice and banqueting. We do what is called alert meets NEETS, not MEATS, which makes sure that after a lunch, post-lunch sessions are not sleepy sessions. So food is chosen which avoids food coma, and increasingly we are seeing a huge demand for it, and we educate a buyer on that front, that giving this food will make sure that your post-lunch sessions are very productive. Digital experiences are now getting integral to F&B, and all F&B people on this forum, and we all must continue to explore the digital space and take it even to the back end, where your inventories are getting managed, your portions are getting managed, your aging of ingredients to compliances to hygiene are getting managed. So digital space will also increase experiences. I think transparency is one thing which increases experience. Whether it's transparency of ingredients to the guest, whether it is values and nutritional values of the food to the guest, whether it is what allergens are contained in the food, making that available to the guest, the calorific values, which now incidentally will become mandatory to publish on your menus on 1st of June. So that I think is very critical. Convenience, the food should be also convenient and easy. It should not be so complicated that you're not able to understand and consume as the chef has crafted it. It should not. It should be easy to consume. So we don't believe that, for example, Bukhara needs cutlery, but we do need that. We do believe that a cuisine like Dampuk needs cutlery. Your linen that you use, your seat heights, your table sizes, everything is getting scientific, and hence your F&B brands are increasingly adding a lot of experience, whether it is music, whether it is cutlery, whether it is ambience, whether it is the right sizing of bowls within a thali. So, for example, if you're serving a lamb shank, which is larger in size, an Indian lamb shank like a koya or something like that, it can't go in a small katori. So you must design a thali which takes in a larger cut of meat if it is part of your meal. Just to give you a small example. I did speak earlier on loyalty, and loyalty programs are becoming a big part of experiences. People are choosing to dine with you because of loyalty, rewards that come their way. Loyalty should not be ignored. I think somebody spoke on pop-ups. Increasingly, five stars are increasing their pond size. They're getting out of their hotels and showcasing their strengths in places, to expose what they are about, and that helps. Plant foods are big. They're not future; they're current. In fact, ITC has a foods division, which you may be familiar with, and we've come up with a full range of plant proteins. And in fact, all ITC menus in the company now have plant-based food items, which is in early days, few months back, and but they are showing promise, and that largely is the experience set, and we will, of course, as we discuss, we will come up with more.
Awesome, Teji.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think with your tons of experience and behind food and beverage of ITC, it's great because ITC is always known for doing something really innovative, and couple of things which really did stood which stood out in this session, and where I would request you to talk a little bit more about that. I'll come to that, but first is transparency. Few years back, you read the menu, you have truffle here and truffle there. So now it's more of transparency. People would like to know, like Sandeep mentioned, picking up lamb from this place. People want to know the story, where the sourcing is, where you picking up the stuff. So that we should be 100% transparent, and this is what one of the biggest experiences. Also, transparency is an experience. Yeah, and like you mentioned that there's a research lab, R&D lab about food and beverage. It's I think it's phenomenal. This is great. So IT is always known for, we are into it, we don't even know that this belongs to ITC, and we consume that. That's great. Thank you so very much, Teji. Can you we have some time. Could you talk a little bit, elaborate about the loyalty, how you are doing loyalty in food and beverage and ITC?
So loyalty in ITC or elsewhere, all the big programs, whether even with Bonvoy, for example, we are also, franchised with Marriott, as you probably know. But loyalty for us goes a bit differently. We also believe that personalization counts for a lot. So our loyalty programs build in the at the back end personalization, as to a guest history, which helps personalize experiences. And that we all, I'm sure, will agree that nothing pleases a guest more than a personalized experience. So loyalty increasingly is becoming a premium, whether it is delivery of experiences, whether it is redemption values that comes via loyalty, whether it gets you priority, which is critical for any good loyalty program. Am I getting priority? Is my esteem needs being met in a loyalty program? Am I being recognized, which is a big deal as part of the experience? As somebody said, is my name being counted? Am I a sir or a ma'am, or am I Himanshu Taneja? Always one would like to hear Mr. Taneja, welcome back. And Mr. Taneja's favorite table should be ready, and Mr. Taneja's wine bottle should already be opened and breathing for a while and decanted, ready for consumption with his glass and what he likes. So people are increasingly getting into personalization, whether it is cakes, whether it is your birthday and anniversary reminders through digitalization, whether you are embroidering a name on a serviette, for example, to even monogrammed cutlery, being present at for high value customers. So their loyalty plays a big part, customer retention, and also referrals, which both are integral indices for loyalty programs.
Thank you so much, Teji. I'm really overwhelmed. You took my name 5 times. You look great over the screen. I'm really looking forward to personally meeting you soon. Awesome. Thank you so much, Teji. And then
Anytime.
we have a celebrity who raises hand. He wants to pitch in again and would like to have some more additional points. So Mr. Celebrity, Mr. Basin, over to you.
So we were discussing, I left initially to give a chance to everyone, otherwise I would have gone for 1 hour straight. Now, when we are saying experiential, I think experiential dining was always there. If we go to the charts, the chart tastes better at the thela than in a 5-star hotels. That's an experience. People travel all the way from Gurgaon and Delhi to Jaipur to have a Rawat ka kachori. That's experiential. People travel 80 kilometer one side to Murthal in Gurgaon, Delhi to have Murthal ke paranthe. That's experiential. So experiential dining was always there. And like Sandeep also mentioned about one dish restaurant specialization. So that's also has come in. Also, another point which I want to touch base here, 2 points. One is, like Mr. Tejendra mentioned about the transparency. It's very important today because customer today is is well traveled, well informed. So we need to be one step ahead to inform him what we are actually giving him. And the one most important thing is coming to is simple and classics. Specialization is coming back with the lockdown, with the pandemic, with the growth of home chefs. The competition has gone up. Earlier, the competition was between restaurant and hotel, but now everyone is at the same platform. Like Sandeep touched base on the Marriott on Wheels. Every hotel chain has their own program of delivery models, but the competition is not only between the hotels. Everyone is a competitor. I remember 2014 when I first bought the Home Chef out, people were laughing at us that chef khana banana bhul gaye. But today it's a trend. So everything is about experience, how we sell it, and how we are able to touch all senses. Earlier we used to say five senses, now there is a sixth sense, which is your brain, and which is very important. So experiential dining is when you touch this sixth sense of brain, you are a winner. And if you're not able to, and you're a multi cuisine, then you are one of them, and you are a perfect recipe of a failure then.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Ashish. So I think we still have some more time left. I would hand it over to Vinita. Vinita, over to you. And we would like you also to have some comment, because you play around a lot in food and beverage spaces. You create experiences for us, and yeah, especially in MICE and event spaces. So we would like to hear from you as well, Vinita. So over to you, Vinita.
Thank you, Himanshu. This is firstly a very interesting session. I was listening to it with rapt attention. Now, the one thing that has come up is, you guys are talking with so much passion about the food. When you're talking about the future of food, I have seen over the years, and I'm sure all of you are in that position currently, like Ashish just said, the role of the chef has changed. Chefs till several years ago were right in the kitchen, toiling away, coming up with great dishes. Earlier, they were cooking beans. Now they are literally counting beans. They are the people who are managing the bean counter in a hotel. They are responsible for the financials. They have a seat at the table when it comes to decision making. I wouldn't call them a technocrat, but I think I could call them as people who are very keenly glued in when it comes to driving the strategies for hospitality. And how exactly, how easy or difficult is it now to have these conversations? Because whenever I used to speak to most of the chefs, they used to tell that, whenever we would go to the management with certain concepts, it was always a P&L that would do the talking. How has that evolved in the past few months for you guys?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinita. So we have few questions, and we would like to take these questions. So first of all, there's a gentleman named Anand Mittal. Thank you for allowing us in this webinar. All our students, teachers are keenly watching and proceeding. In our Darbal Hall, Neeraj was my student. From Anand Mittal, Principal Acham Meerut. Really proud of you, Chef Neeraj.
Oh, super.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You are a celebrity. All right. Yeah. So we have named Iqbal. How do you think when we are the fresher and go for the first job? So guys, we are there to help you out, and we are hiring full-fledged in all our organizations. So you have a secured future if you're really passionate about food and beverage. Thank you very much. Question two again, Chef Neeraj. Mock meat concept and organic meat lab grown. So will it add to the F&B industry? So Chef Neeraj, would you mind to answer?
Yeah. So, well, it's already started, as I mentioned initially, that well-being is going to be part of our lifestyle. People are going into healthy dining. I was reading some stats, and then the average consumer who's to go for shopping from the healthy shopping, the 28% has gone to 68%. So this shows that people are want to eat healthy, and veganism, plant-based menus are going to be big. We at the core, we are realigning our breakfast offering, and this plant-based offerings and menu is going to be big. And that's a mandate from our corporate office from Dubai. So I think there's a lot coming back to the mock meat. I think when it's already started, as I mentioned, we have got few banquet queries, where the guests have asked especially to have the mock meat in their menus, and we have done this in the past, and it's still there are a couple of events lined up where we're going to do the mock meat. So I hope I have answered your question, but and soon I think it's going to be also a part of our main a la carte menus, so not now, but yes, very soon.
Thank you so much, Neeraj. Chef, thank you so much, Neeraj. I think this is really helpful. Mr. Srivastav, would you, I guess you have a question. Would you like to ask a question from us?
Oh, I think, firstly, I really devoured the session. I'm really enjoying. But, just wanted to understand, when do you think globally and India would really come up at that speed where people look up to India? Because we got such a big talent pool here in this part of the geography. When do you think when people can look up to this side of the geography? Especially on the F&B sector.
People are already looking at.
Yeah?
The only thing is our food is different. But if you see now, the Michelin star chefs are coming down to India, traveling to the streets and taking dosas and our local street food into their fine dining restaurant. So the only thing is our cuisine was different. But it was not that we were not there. Murg tikka masala, I don't know, there's a debate that it's an Indian or it's an English dish. But whatever is there, it was developed because of an India. So people are looking at India from ages.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sorry. I think
Neeraj.
it's still there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work
Yeah,
needs to be done. I mean, India has a lot to offer. There are some region which is popular, but there are some region the food is fantastic. But the unfortunate part is people doesn't talk about it. There's a beautiful tribal cuisine which is there and which yet to be explored. So our cuisine is so diverse. It changes after every 100 kilometers. So I mean, but as I mentioned, that there are dishes which is very popular because they are documented. People are trying it. They have taken it to various other countries. But there's so many things which yet to be invented, yet to be explored, and yet to come on the mainstream menus.
Just to add to what Neeraj said, I would say Punjabi cuisine is the best and the worst thing which has happened to our cuisine. So when after partition people moved to India, people from Pakistan came and they came as refugees and they spread all over. So the cuisine spread, but the other regional cuisine remained within their sections. And the Punjabi cuisine, the Northwest frontier cuisine was very neutral cuisine, butter, cream, all those elements which rolls on your tongue and make it tasty. Although, yes, it goes straight to the waistline also, but we don't care about the waistline. So that was the best thing. And we got so much that these dishes, butter chicken, naan, samosa, they become synonym to Indian cuisine, whereas these are not. I have done festivals related to Kolhapur, Karwar, Bhojpuri, Bihari, Assamese, Naga. Even when it goes to South India, the North Andhra and all these, they're various cuisine. But I think coming back to only between us or Indians, we need to get educated that Indian cuisine is not limited to only those 5 dishes. Like I have a restaurant called Dia. I call it India, where I have literally a dish from every state. But if you ask me which dish sells the most, is the butter chicken. So we are on track, but it will take time. But that's internally. We all need to make efforts for that. Yeah. And I think we need a support there. It's a touchy topic for me because I've worked a lot on that topic. I think we need a support from government on that. It has to be a must that every state should have their regional specialist.
I think Chef Basi, now you're really getting emotional. The chef is coming out. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bad habits die hard.
I would just tell you what I think, Mr. Srivastav. I think India is evolving. The cuisines are evolving. But here, what I understand your question: when would India will become a culinary destination in global map? Okay, this is the right question, which I would say it's not about Punjabi or any other cuisine. This is what I think. Here, I feel there are bits and pockets in the country. Few places are coming up. Goa is again a culinary destination, F&B destination. I would say the latest trends are there in Goa. I should talk about NCR, what's happening at Gurgaon, what's happening in Delhi, what's happening in Mumbai, specifically South Bombay. Yeah. So there are bits and pockets in the country. Bangalore is coming up and evolving. So yes, you see, we are biggest, we are diversified. It's a huge country. I don't know. It's really big. So what I'm saying is, yes, it's evolving. But if we collectively together, India is there. We are reaching, and I think it's not too far because as the flights have started, our chefs are a lot of chefs are going abroad, coming back. So I think F&B is getting bigger and better, and we are almost there. I think in next few years, and a person like you behind Hoteler India is giving a huge platform to our chefs and F&B to come up. Really, we should thank you. Yeah, and giving us the opportunity to take the F&B standards up. This is what has been happening in other countries from ages, and we have just started in this country. So we are really thankful for that. Well, we have quick couple of questions. One is again asked for a celebrity. Cold pressed oils and A2 milk is even trend, and then Chef Basin posted about A2 ghee in the recent post. So wanted to know how really identified the quality of it. So Chef Basin, quick answer in just 2 sentences. We are about to get over timing.
Trust and buy it from the trustworthy sources. Simple.
Awesome. Transparency, like Tejinder said. Thank you very much. Do you plant-based entering in the main menu offering today? If yes, which format is you would like to start for? So guys, I would take this question. I think there's a lot of work going on plant-based. Like Tejinder mentioned, there's R&D going on. Chef Neeraj, Sandeep Pande. I can tell you what's happening in Marriott World. We are going to have a section of plant-based in our menus. So you have apps, you have main courses, you have soups, you have salads, you have comfort food, you have local indigenous desserts. Every section will have minimum 2 or 3 plant-based as per the section, which we will calculate how we are reducing carbon emission, global carbon emission on this planet. And this is a big thing, and there are a lot to come. You will see 2022 is a different year altogether in F&B spaces, and I look forward from here. I think that's it from my side. Over to you, Mr. Srivastav, before we conclude this session.
Listen, I for one would like to go, and every word I was taking, Himanshu. So firstly, very big thank you to Himanshu, and I think everybody, the wonderful, legendary people, Chef Sandeep, Tejinder, Chef Ashish Basin, and Neeraj Tyagi. Phenomenal men. And I think there could be nothing better than this in this country, to have such a, what do you say, a galaxies of stars together. I mean, मैं बड़े सिंपल शब्दों में बोलता हूँ, बिकॉज़ बहुत सारे लोग हैं, उनको बताना चाहते हैं, ये सारे दिग्गज लोग हैं हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे, माशाअल्लाह, they will make the food and beverage, the destination in India a reality, and it is not far away. And Himanshu, thank you very much for acknowledging Hoteler India. I just want to say we are with you guys, right behind with you, shoulder to shoulder, to make sure that the world over takes notice of what India has and what talents we have, what incredible men, what amazing bunch of you can bring to this country. And one thing that certainly I want to say, that I think with you all around, I think it gives me a lot of motivation to promise on this forum that we will bring in, a big congruence and a confluence of a big F&B conclave to all our viewers here on YouTube and wherever you are seeing. We will bring it very soon. I think the gentlemen have kindly and cohesively agreed to collaborate and co-create another incredible platform in person in October. And that city, I think I would leave Himanshu. Would you like to announce that city? I would take this opportunity. Which city do you think we should do this? The conclave, the F&B conclave.
I think, to me, if you ask me, yeah, everyone knows the answer. Everyone knows the answer.
Chef Himanshu,
Neeraj,
Chef
Dharam
Himanshu, you
Sankar.
are in Delhi, we will not let you go to Mumbai if you stay Delhi, okay?
I'm going to say,
We can have
before
voting right now, Himanshu.
I
You use
told you,
that right.
before I
so
fly out,
listen,
before I fly
listen, so
out
let's
tonight,
not
I'm
make
going to, yes, yes,
no,
yes.
listen, before we make it tough for you guys, I think we have love for all, every city, not for sure. And, Sandeep Pande have just been, has hosted a big, incredible awards night, 16 December. Chef Sandeep Pande, big thank you to you, to your incredible team behind too. In COVID times, you guys have really, and I'm getting the opportunity to thank, because at that time I was myself in COVID, a big hand to you and your team behind. Incredible men there, holding guards for 450 plus people on 2 levels. No ordinary feat by no stretch of imagination. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think from Hotelier India team, all my team behind, I want to sincerely thank Himanshu Taneja first for being the wonderful Sutradhar that you are, and Chef Sandeep Pande, Teji, Chef Ashish Bhasin, Chef Neeraj Tyagi, and I can't wait to be in Delhi, because you know what? Delhi is one place that I really love for food. So all that, places like, butter chicken and kadhai chickens and all the things that you can really dabble, want to go there. So I think we will do a great honor by covering this, the whole session in exhaustively, because today you unfolded and unraveled so much of scope in F&B. So I think we will do great justice in our subsequent issue for Hotelier India. People, thank you for watching and being with us. You've been a lovely audience. Thank you and take care. God bless.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Grateful.
Thank you.